Hello everybody, Terry back again with another video, and today's videos, guys, are going to be about talking about this semi-final we just saw, and then of course previewing the final tomorrow, the Master 1000 final in Monte Carlo tomorrow. Yeah guys, let's talk about the semi-finals first, and then I'm going to preview about the final tomorrow, a very exciting final that I'm really looking forward to. Two young guns, two excited players, one from Greece, one from Russia. But before I go talk about that final, let's talk a little about the semi-finals. This was straightforward victories for both of these high seeds. Both of these two are top 10 in the world, which of course Casper Ruud and Dan Evans are not. They are not top 10s in the world, so they were the underdogs, at least according to me. First up was Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Dan Evans. Dan Evans didn't stand a chance. Stefanos Tsitsipas just dismantled him in straight sets, 6-2, 6-1, only gave him 3 games. Stefanos Tsitsipas looked really good, really solid, really sharp, played tennis with big confidence. Yeah guys, Dan Evans, like I said yesterday, his journey will end now. He has done a tremendous good tournament, but he just ran into a really redlining Stefanos Tsitsipas, who has not dropped one single set so far in the tournament. And Stefanos, he really played clean tennis. 13 unforced errors, 21 winners. He does 8 more winners than unforced errors. Serving good, didn't land crazy many serves in. I believe he landed 61% first serves in, but he was winning a lot of points behind those first serves. He was winning 79% behind those first serves in, when he was landing those first serves in. And if you look at this winning points behind second serves, 65%. So he was doing so much damage behind both first serves and second serves, playing good tennis from the baseline, doing really good damage from both wings, both forehand and backhand. And his backhand looks really solid. I don't know when I've seen Stefanos Tsitsipas backhand looking this solid and this consistent. I believe he did only 2 unforced errors with his backhand against Dan Evans. Only 2. He did in the entire match 13 unforced errors, Stefanos Tsitsipas, and he does 10 unforced errors with his forehand and only 2 with his backhand, and 1 double fault. So all in all, he does 13 unforced errors, and majority of those unforced errors, they're coming from the forehand. But of course he goes more with his forehand and he pulls the trigger more with his forehand. So obviously he does more winners with his forehand than he does with his backhand, of course. So, but his backhand, he necessarily doesn't do many winners with his backhand, Stefanos Tsitsipas, but he's keeping his unforced errors low with that shot. Because we know that Stefanos Tsitsipas' backhand can be really inconsistent, sometimes, more yes than not, but it has been really consistent, at least in this tournament, and it would look really good against Evans. Evans, he tried, he was drop shotting, he was playing chip and charge, he was slicing like he did against Djokovic, but Djokovic, we all know, he had really a bad, horrible day. And then also he did the same against Goffin. He almost lost against Goffin, but he won in 3 sets against Goffin. But against Tsitsipas, he just couldn't come up with the goods. It was just, Tsitsipas was too good. Evans didn't stand a chance in the short rallies, in the middle rallies, in the longer rallies. Stefanos Tsitsipas was superior. In the short rallies where Stefanos did the biggest damage, he won 27 points and Evans only 13. So Stefanos Tsitsipas wins 14 more points than Evans in the shorter rallies from 1 to 4 shots. And if you look at the middle rallies, 5 to 8 shots, 5 to 9 shots, Stefanos Tsitsipas, also the superior player there, wins 25 points compared with Evans, who wins 18 points. So Stefanos clearly wins 7 more points than Evans on the middle rallies, 5 to 9 shots. And if you look at the longest rallies, over 9 shots, Stefanos also is superior there, winning 9 points, and Evans winning only 3 points. So Stefanos wins 6 more points than Evans in the longest rallies, over 9 shots. So Evans didn't stand a chance here. Congratulations to Stefanos Tsitsipas. I believe this will be his 3rd Master 1000 final. He has lost 2 of them versus the big the big goats versus two of the greatest tennis players of all time together with Federer. I believe the first one he lost against Rafael Nadal, and the second one he lost against Novak Djokovic, Stefanos Tsitsipas. So now Stefanos Tsitsipas will play his third Masters 2000 final, and his opponent will not be one of the big three members, Djokovic or Nadal. It will be Andrey Rublev. Andrey Rublev, who he won in straight sets like I predicted he will do yesterday. I thought that he needs to win this match in straight sets. Casper Ruud, he is a good clay court player. He can play some really good clay court tennis. And if Casper Ruud takes himself to a third set against Andrey Rublev, then Andrey Rublev maybe will feel those legs, because he has been playing some really long, brutal tennis the last couple of days, Andrey Rublev, against RBA and against Rafael Nadal. And Andrey Rublev, he did the work and won his straight sets 6-3, 7-5. 6-3, 7-5, yes. So he only drops 8 games under Rublev. But don't let the numbers fool you guys, because Casper Ruud bothered Andrey Rublev, in my opinion, here. Casper Ruud was not without any chance like Dan Evans was against Tsitsipas. Dan Evans against Tsitsipas, he didn't stand a chance. Casper Ruud, he was a breakup both in the first set and in the second set. He was dictating the points, he was doing winners, he was hanging on in the rallies, he was dictating, he was pushing pressure to Rublev. So it was not like Rublev was crazy dominant in this match, even though that the numbers maybe are showing that because it is straight sets victory. But it was not a one-way traffic for Andrey Rublev like it was for Stefanos Tsitsipas. And if you look at the stats, Andrey Rublev, he does 21 winners, 19 unforced errors, so he does 2 more winners than unforced errors. But Andrey Rublev gets his serve broken 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. 2 in the first set, 2 times in the first set, and 1 time in the second set. If you look at Tsitsipas' serve was broken only 1 time in the entire match, and that was the first set. So obviously, Casper Ruud he had his teeth more into Andrey Rublev's service games, and that's why he broke 3 times out of 3 break punch opportunities, by the way. So he was 100% in breaking Andrey Rublev's serve. 3 opportunities, 3 times he converted, Casper Ruud. But Andrey Rublev, in the end of the day, was the better player, was the clutcher player, was the more consistent player, was the more solid player, and he is the better player. So he won fair and square here. He braked Casper Ruud's serve 5 times. He also, by the way, was 100% in converting break points. He had 5 break punch opportunities. He converts 5 times. So, but I think that Rublev, he needs to gear up his level tomorrow, in my opinion. I believe so. If you look at his serving department, Rublev, he serves 54% first serve in. That is little too low. He came away against Casper because Casper is not as good and not as consistent and not as powerful player as Stefanos Tsitsipas. So he came away against Casper with 54% landing first serves in. That he needs to be over 63, 64 or 65% in the tomorrow's final under Rublev. And he does damage behind his first serve. Even though he doesn't land a crazy amount of first serves in under Rublev, he wins 76% behind his first serve. So he does big damage. And we all know that he has that murderous forehand where under Rublev's serve plus points game are tremendously good. So when he lands his first serve, he will penetrate the court, he will punish you, and he will do winners, and if not winners, he will dictate the points and win the point in the end. So he wins a lot of points behind his first serves in, 76%. That is great number. But Andrey Rublev's big issue is his second serve. He tends to be a little passive when he lands his second serve, and that's why he was winning only 43% behind his second serve, guys. That is too little. 43%. Actually, Casper wins more points behind his second serve. I believe Casper won 50% behind his second serve, compared with Andrey Rublev, who won 43%. And if you look at the match against Rafa yesterday, Andrey Rublev also didn't have the craziest big success winning points behind second serves. He won 42% behind his second serves against Rafa Nadal yesterday, and Rublev, and against Casper he wins 43%. So there you have big difference on tomorrow's final between Rublev and Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas does much more damage behind second serve, because if you look at the first serve points won, they are more or less similar. Stefanos wins 79% behind a winning point behind first serves, 79% against Dan Evans. Rublev wins 76 against Casper Ruud. So there the numbers are similar, but the difference here, my friend, Stefanos is doing much more damage behind second serves, winning 65% against Dan Evans behind his second serves, and Rublev winning only 43 against Casper Ruud. So there I think will be a big difference in the match tomorrow. Rublev needs to do much more damage behind second serves. Rublev needs to put that second serve much harder into the play, because guys, if you look at the speed, actually Rublev's second serve was slower than Rafa's second serve yesterday. It's actually true. You can check it out. You can check it out. I have done that, guys. So Rublev is not hitting his second serve tremendously hard, which he needs to do, because when he is hitting that second serve slow, he will be punished. He was punished against Rafa Nadal. He was punished against Casper Ruud, winning only 42% behind second serves against Rafa Nadal, winning only 43% behind his second serves against Casper Ruud. And there I think Stefanos Tsitsipas will have a big advantage in winning points behind second serves. Because if you look at the rally length, it was not that he was dominating crazy much. At least Rublev was not dominating the middle rallies and the long rallies. The long rallies he was winning 9 points, Casper Ruud winning 7 points. So he was winning 2 more points than Casper Ruud when the rallies was over 9 shots. In the middle rallies, 5 to 9 shots, he was not super dominant there either under Rublev. He was winning 20 points, Casper Ruud was winning 19 points. So he wins only 1 more point than Casper Ruud on the middle rallies. The big difference is, of course, on the short rallies, which is Andrey Rublev's biggest strength. He does so much damage in the short rallies with that big, huge forehand that he has. He won 34 points and Casper Ruud won 24 points. So Andrey Rublev wins on the short rallies from 1 to 4 shots. He wins 10 more points than Casper Ruud, 34 versus 24. So, if you look at both semifinalists, the more convincingly, the more sharper player, in my opinion, it has been Stefanos Tsitsipas. Not only in the semifinals match versus Evans and Rublev versus Casper Ruud, but the entire tournament. But Rublev has defeated big tennis players on the way, especially Rafa Nadal on the semifinal. We know Rafa Nadal was not at his best, but we cannot take anything away from Rublev. In my opinion, Rublev didn't do quite as good match against Casper Ruud today. He did not, guys. I truly believe so. He was not landing his serve as good as he landed against Rafa. Not that he landed crazy high number of serves against Rafa. I believe he landed 61% first serves against Rafa, and against Casper he landed 44. But he just was not as sharp against Casper like he was against Rafa. He just was not. Because Casper, yeah, he didn't lose any set against Casper, but Casper Ruud, we all know, he's not any Rafa Nadal, for God's sakes. Casper Ruud, he cannot even come close to Rafa Nadal's achievements, what Rafa has done on clay. So, even though that Rublev didn't lose any set against Casper and he lost 1 set against Rafa Nadal, I still believe Rublev played a better match against Rafa Nadal, at least according to me, than he did against Casper Ruud. So, after seeing these 2 semifinals matches, now we go ahead and talk about the final tomorrow. Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Andrey Rublev. Who will win that battle tomorrow, guys? The head-to-head is 3-all. It is dead even, guys. If you count the next-gen meeting that they had in 2016. 5 years ago, that was the first ever meeting between them, and which Stefanos won that battle. If you count that match as well, it is 3-all. If you count only the ATP matches, it is 3-2 to Andrey Rublev. If you look at the matches on clay, they have faced each other on clay 2 times. Both of those times has been last year in 2020. First time was on that Hamburg final. which Rublev won in 3 sets. Actually, Stefanos should have never lost that match. I remember he was up in the lead in the 3rd set, had so many chances. He was dominating that match. He was the better player, but he collapsed in that 3rd set. Stefanos Tsitsipas in that Hamburg final, I remember last year, and eventually lost that 3rd set after collapsing mentally and doing a lot of unforced errors. But when they faced each other for the 2nd time on clay, and that was in French Open last year in the quarterfinal, Stefanos prevailed in straight sets. Didn't give Andrey Rublev one single set in that quarterfinal in French Open last year. And in my opinion, the player who is best on clay, it is Stefanos Tsitsipas between these two. Last time they played each other was in that ATP 2 finals in London in a round-robin match where Rublev actually won. No. In that ATP 2 finals in London, Stefanos Tsitsipas won. I'm sorry. Last time they played was in Rotterdam in the semi-final, indoor hard courts, where Rublev won. So how will this unfold tomorrow? Guys, look. I will give my edge to Stefanos Tsitsipas in this final tomorrow. And the reason I do that is, like I said earlier in this video, I believe that the 2nd serve will be a big advantage for Stefanos Tsitsipas. He hits the 2nd serve better than Andrey Rublev. He hits it harder. He does more damage behind his 2nd serve. He plays attacking tennis even behind his 2nd serve. Rublev plays attacking tennis behind the 1st serve, not necessarily behind his 2nd serve. And I think that Stefanos Tsitsipas will take advantage of that. And you can look at the numbers. Stefanos Tsitsipas is doing much more damage behind 2nd serves compared with Rublev. That is one thing. The second thing is, when you analyze Rublev's game, Rafa gave Rublev a lot of time because Rafa can sometimes be passive. He can play 3, 4, 5, 6 meters behind the baseline. But if you take time away from Andrey Rublev, if you play close to the baseline, if you take the ball early, you can hurt Andrey Rublev. Like actually Casper Ruud did time to times in the semi-final. Broke his serve 3 times and was up in the lead in both sets with breaks. But of course, Casper Ruud doesn't have the consistency throughout the match to cross that hard finish line against a quality player like Andrey Rublev. Stefanos Tsitsipas have. He plays attacking tennis. He plays close to the baseline. He takes the ball early. His backhand is looking solid. Even though he doesn't do a tremendous many backhand winners, but he's not doing many unforced errors from that side of the wing, at least not in this Monte Carlo tournament that I've seen him. He has not dropped one single set. I will give my edge to Stefanos Tsitsipas. I believe he will be the winner tomorrow. I think it is time for Stefanos Tsitsipas. It is his 3rd Master 1000 final. It is his 3rd Master 1000 final that he will play tomorrow, and I think he will prevail. That is my feeling. Of course, Rublev can win this. I would not be shocked if he wins. I would not be surprised, for God's sakes. He's top 10 player in the world. He's coming with big confidence after defeating RBA in 3 brutal sets, after defeating Rafa Nadal, the greatest tennis player of all time on clay, in 3 brutal sets. But you can see signs. If you play close to the baseline, if you take the ball early, if you go to the net, if you chip and charge, if you play drop shots, if you mix up your game, you can trouble, you can hurt, and you can defeat Andrey Rublev. And Stefanos Tsitsipas will not give time to Andrey Rublev as much time as Rafa gave him. Stefanos Tsitsipas will play more consistent tennis than what Casper Ruud played in the semi-final. Stefanos Tsitsipas just feels to me at the current moment the same Stefanos that I saw in that 2019 ATP 2 finals in London when he won his biggest title. To me, he feels the same. He's not the most consistent player. He will not win 7, 8 tournaments in a year, at least not now. Maybe when he will be 24, 25, 26, 27 years old, but not at the current moment. He can sometimes be mentally weak and just disappear from matches, like he was in that Hamburg final last year against Rublev, when he was the dominant player in the 3rd set but totally collapsed the last 3, 4, 5 games. But at the current moment, he is looking red hot, guys. He is redlining. He's looking sharp. He's looking consistent. And the pressure that Stefanos will put on Andrey Rublev, it will be too much. He will not, because, look guys, if you give Andrey Rublev time, if you let him dictate the rallies, you will be in big trouble. You will not beat him like Rafael Nadal did in the quarterfinal. He gave Rublev time, and Rublev was dictating Rafael Nadal like a bully. Stefanos Tsitsipas will not give Rublev that time. He knows that. Guys, for God's sake, if I can see that, who am I? Who is Stefanos Tsitsipas should know this, should know this even more than me. And his team as well. So Stefanos will take it to Rublev. He will play close to the baseline. He will attack the net. He will serve big, both first serves and second serves. And in the end, I think that will be the indicator why Stefanos Tsitsipas will prevail. Can he win his straights? Yes, he can. He can win his straights. But I have a feeling that this will go to a three-set match. And I think that in the end, Stefanos Tsitsipas wins in 3 sets, and I think Stefanos Tsitsipas wins his first Master 1000 title in Monte Carlo. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!